Rain lashed against the ancient windows of Buckingham Palace like 1,000 whispers demand. The night was thick, the sky fractured by distant thunder, and the palace's hallways echoed with hurried footsteps. A single phone rang in the dead of night, shrill, urgent, relentless. "Pick it up," barked a senior aide, his hands trembling as he glanced at the caller ID glowing. It was from an encrypted line, one reserved for emergencies that could threaten the very fabric of the monarchy. Within minutes, a private chamber deep within the palace was alive with shadows. The meeting was hastily assembled, 4 senior advisors, 2 security chiefs, and at the head of the table, Prince William himself. His jaw was tight, his fingers drumming on the oak table as the rain outside grew heavier, almost as if the heavens were mourning what was about to. "Tell me everything," William demanded. His voice was low, yet the room seemed to vibrate with the weight of his words. The aide cleared his throat, sliding a folder across the table. "We have intercepted communication. It's your brother. Prince Harry. He's made an alliance." The words hung in the air like smoke. William's eyes narrowed. "With whom?" The room fell silent. A lightning flash revealed pale faces and clenched. "Not just one person," the aide finally whispered. "A network. Powerful, discreet, and hostile to this institution. A tech magnate from Silicon Valley, a discredited aristocrat with a long-standing grudge, and a former intelligence handler from the Middle East. Together, they've been gathering something, files, recordings, testimonies. They call it the Black Archive." William's knuckles turned white as he gripped the folder. His brother's smiling face on the cover photo now looked like a declaration of war. "He wouldn't dare," William muttered, though a storm of doubt churned behind his. But Harry would dare. Across the ocean, in a mansion perched over a rain-slicked Pacific coast, Prince Harry stared at a screen glowing with messages from his newfound ally. Meghan moved quietly in the background, her expression unreadable. Harry wasn't the lost prince anymore, he was a strategist, a man wronged, a man ready to dismantle the legacy that had defined his. The first blow came like a whisper, an anonymous leak to a European news outlet. Then another, financial irregularities within royal foundations exposed with surge. What began as scattered noise grew into a symphony of scandal. Headlines screamed. Social media flooded with hashtags, #Crown Crisis, #Harry Strikes Back, #Will. Inside the palace, William's world shrank into a fortress of secrets. Security protocols. Phones were swept for bugs. Every advisor was scrutinized. Trust became a luxury he could no. But the alliance Harry had built was one step ahead. Every countermeasure, every legal maneuver, every press release was anticipated, neutralized. Then came the night of the ultimatum. Another storm raged over London as William sat in a dimly lit study, staring at a single email projected on a secure tablet. "Step aside, or the truth becomes global. You know what's in the files. You know it will burn." No name. No signature. Only power dripping from every word. "Who sent this?" William asked his head of intelligence. "It came through a chain of encrypted relays," the man replied, beads of sweat on his But the source? "We believe it's Harry's inner circle. Sir, they've moved. They have the material." William leaned back in his chair, the rain hammering the windows. He thought of his father, of the crown, of the generations who had built and bled for the institution now hanging. And he thought of Harry, not as a brother, but as a rival who had chosen war over blood. In California, Harry made his next move. A covert video call was arranged with his alliance partner. The camera flickered as a figure in shadow spoke, "The next leak is ready. Once it drops, William won't just be cornered, he'll be." Harry hesitated for a moment, staring at his own reflection on the screen. "This isn't just about revenge," he said quietly. "It's about freedom. But freedom for one meant chains for another. The following morning, Britain woke to major networks replayed a clip over and over, a senior royal figure, voice unmistakable, discussing covert deals with foreign. The implications were devastating. Parliament demanded answers. The palace issued a statement calling it malicious fabrication, but the damage was done. Trust, once eroded, does not rebuild overnight. That evening, William convened a final, desperate council. Rain poured outside, turning the cobblestone courtyard into a mirror of broken light. He stood by the fireplace, eyes hollow, voice steady. "They want me out," he said, "but if I fall, this family falls." "Sir," one advisor whispered, "there is another option. We strike back, harder. Find their leaks. Expose their alliance. Turn the narrative before it turns you. William nodded. The heir to the throne was no longer a prince in waiting, he was a commander preparing for war. His counterattack began that very night, phone calls to secret allies, midnight meetings with cyber intelligence units, even discreet contact with international agencies who owed the crown favors. But Harry's alliance was a beast with many heads. For every strike, two more threats emerged. Anonymous accounts spread doctored images, journalists dug deeper, and whispers of a royal reckoning spread like wildfire. Days turned into weeks. The rain rarely stopped. London felt heavier, darker, as though the city itself sensed the end of something. And then, the final trap was sprung. A courier delivered a package to Kensington. Inside, a drive containing the Black Archive. Alongside it, a note. "This is on." William plugged it in, his advisors watching in grim silence. File after file opened, photos from decades past, transcripts of secret meetings, bank transfers, private letters. Some were true. Some were twisted beyond recognition. But in the court of public opinion, truth mattered less than by midnight. A dozen major outlets had copies. Hashtags surged. Protests erupted outside and somewhere, in the rain-soaked dawn of California, Harry received a single text from his shadowy ally, "It's done." He stared at it for a long time. Victory didn't feel like triumph. It felt like a door slamming shut, on family, on legacy, on any hope of reckoning. Back in London, William looked out over the courtyard as the storm finally began to. The rain slowed, but the damage was already written in the history books. For the first time in 1,000 years, the heir to the British throne was not merely challenged, he was. And in that trap, surrounded by enemies both foreign and familiar, he whispered to